but Kris Jenner works harder. Today I'll be discussing authenticity as postmodern ethics, the paradox of reality television and social media in the construction of the true self, through the case study of the Kardashians, their social media, and Keeping Up with the Kardashians, their reality TV show. The question I pose is, who am I versus who do you think I am? Is it self-expression or self-reflexive gratification? Is the authentic person shaped by their own introspection, or is it through a conscious criticism of their production of self and its reception by others? Let's have a discussion of authenticity. According to Smirnova, it's the feeling of being true to oneself. This could occur when one's actions are in congruence with the ideal self. This could be tied to an associated ethical code or self-constructed on many selves through reputation and judgment that is cultivated around that. The quest for authenticity can be said to reflect a culture of narcissism or a cultural idea that helps us make sense of the world around us in the absence of strict guidelines in a postmodern age. I would like to talk about the idea of unhealthy narcissism in relation to authenticity. This talks about reputation as an ethical currency of stigma and shame. The heightened level of individual and collective anxiety in the absence of traditional codes of modernity creates us to seek advice. This then becomes integral to our social capital, as our reputation is a concept which is carefully crafted and once it's established, needed to be protected from harm. As can be seen here, Kris Jenner is protective of her reputation as she doesn't wish for her daughter to go to jail, neither does she want her daughter to be taking photos of herself, as this could be seen as self-indulgent and hence against an ethical code that is relatable in society. Post-feminism and authenticity. So this is the ideology that connects traditional liberal feminism ideas about freedom and independent choice to a contemporary capitalist engagement with the media. So the concept of the technology of self shifted as selling yourself became legitimate practice in a capitalist society. Within the guise of empowerment, external gratification is sought in projecting the ideal authentic self through the maintenance of online engagement. So in this case, Kim Kardashian and her friend Emily Ratajkowski are actually undergoing something that is positive in society and not technically objectifying themselves, as they are owning this objectification. However, is this actually empowerment? The communicative act involved in self-disclosure works as a technique of self-branding, thus objectifying young women precisely through the act of authoring them as subjects. So a brand actually relies on not obscuring any scandalous behavior, as success lies in a brand culture's love of controversy. This can be seen in the sex tape that started the girls' careers, and Kendall Jenner's Pepsi ad controversy, which was used as a sub-story on the girls' reality television and allowed for viewers to gain an insight into her authentic feelings. It could also be seen as appropriation. As they embody the hypersexualized female body, it's particularly brandable in the current economy of visibility. However, at-risk women aren't able to gain the same sense of self. The fine line between behavior that is merely immoral and that which is pathological in the context of the enterprising self exposes the high stakes involved in mastering the skills of self-branding or being capable of branding oneself at all. She is being ranked, and in this example on the right, you can see that she is given criticism by a woman of colour as she is showing off cornrows but isn't actually part of the lower class at-risk ethical code that is seen to be portrayed by the black community in American society. Kris Jenner is seen as manipulative and opportunistic. She embodies Boston's stagecraft, that life is a blend of reality and mass-mediated experience where you act as yourself. Capitalizing on unreality television. The reality television concept as being authentic is being subverted by Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So in the environment of plastic humanity, only the minority were credited as real. The average viewer could relate, wanting to imagine themselves in an entertaining fantasy. Reality TV usually achieves this through turning fantasy into an authentic experience, such as The Bachelor. It reconciles the tensions between what is subjectively real and fantastic. However, Keeping Up with the Kardashians used this platform in a different way. They capitalize off the suspicions inherent in the audience consuming their social media personalities, and the corroboration of the show in the social media self allows for further insight and relatability while capitalizing on people's need for the truth, such as Kylie Jenner's baby announcement, being on the Super Bowl, and Tristan Thompson's cheating scandal on Khloe Kardashian, which was unveiled on the show as well. In the social media age, those who participate in branded communication build and conceive their ethical audience, authentic self through reflexive gratification.